So you've been hearing about EF Ultimate Break and you want to travel with them, but you're not sure if you can book alone, if it's worth the money, and all of those questions. Well, lucky for you, I have been on 6 trips with them. I'm about to go on my 7th in 2 months, and it is 100% worth it. I literally, the only thing I need to warn you is that once you go on one trip, you are going to want to go on all of them. First off, EF is having their Ultimate Black Friday sale, and it is the biggest sale of the year. Early access starts on November 7th. So if you have not signed up, I highly encourage you to go to that website, their website. It says efultimatebreak.com. There will also be a link below with my discount code applied for $100 off your first trip. And that can be applied with any sale or promotion going on. Their biggest sale of the year. I remember last year, some trips were like up to $1,200 off. So definitely take advantage of this. And like, it's only $5 down to reserve a spot for a trip, where usually it's like $150. So definitely just put the $5 down. You'll be good. And they also have automatic payment plans, which I love, so I don't have to put down like $1,000 at a time. I can do like $100 out of every paycheck, and then it doesn't hurt the wallet as much. That's kind of it about Black Friday. And then yes, my coupon code, I am an ambassador for them, so you'll get $100 off your trip. Let's say you find a trip that is $1,200 off. You will get that for $1,300 off, which can just be added. I've been to 5 continents with them, and I'm about to go to my 6th, and I could not be more excited. For a little breakdown, I went on the Belize Reef, Ruins, and Rainforests in June of 2021, and then I went on Iceland Winter Escape in 2022 March, and then I went to Ultimate Greek Islands, which was the 17-day one, 7 cities, 5 islands, in June of 2022, and then I did the Ecuador and Galapagos New Year's Eve trip from obviously December 2022 to January 2023. I did the highlights of Japan trip, which is the 14-day Japan one. I believe we also went to 7 cities there. That was in April of 2023, and then I most recently did Kenya African Safari in July of 2023 for my birthday, and it was a dream. And then I'm going on the Australia and New Zealand 3-week trip over New Year's this December. I leave. A lot of people aren't really sure what all they're getting. They think they're just getting the trip, which yes, you are getting the trip, but you're getting so much more. So from the time that you book, you have an entire checklist of anything you need to do. For example, if you need to get prescriptions from your doctor, if you're going to be gone for an extended period of time, or if you need a visa for your destination, any of that stuff. Checklist with the dates, when to tell your banks you're traveling. My banks don't even care if I travel. They just text me a code. Check with your cell phone provider. All of that will be in the checklist, which is amazing. And then also, they have a support center, and I personally just go to the website and chat them. They also have a phone line, so if you have any questions or concerns, or you're like not totally sure about some excursion or some activity, you can ask them and they'll be happy to help. I personally just chat, but sometimes I know people like to call. But yeah, the support center is great. How it works, so you obviously sign up. I would say do a payment plan. If you want to pay in full, more power to you. And then you will get your final flight information if you book flights with them. You can also opt to not book flights with them. And then accommodations. So you'll get your flight and your accommodation information 1 month from your departure date. So I usually send this to my mom. I usually download it as a PDF and save it in my phone or my computer, and then email it to my phone, whatever. So I have all of it, because I know sometimes customs forms kind of ask you like, where's a phone number we can contact you? I always just put the hotel, the first hotel that I'm staying at, their contact number, and it's worked out great. And then you need like their address and stuff. So yeah, all of that info you get 1 month before your trip. And then I also recommend, after you get your flight info, go to the flight, pick your seat. For me, I'm a window girly. If you want to upgrade yourself, again, more power to you. I do not. I'm an economy queen. I'm sure the first time I fly business or first class, I will be changed, but for now, I can deal with economy. And then if you have any dietary needs or preferences, which also if you do, EF is very, very accommodating. I try to eat vegan when I travel. It doesn't always happen, but usually they'll give me the full menu to look down. I've had people who are gluten-free, allergic to nuts, anything you can think of. EF is very accommodating. You just let your tour director know, which I'll talk about them in a second. But so you get your flight info. If you have a dietary need, put it in your little flight description. Sometimes I had, like for KLM, I messaged them on Facebook. For Delta, I just put it in through like the website. So just depending on what airline you're having, they'll know what to do. But so put that in, select your seat, and then you're golden. And then I was gonna tell you guys one other thing to do for your flight. I don't remember. But yeah, that's all the flight stuff. Oh, and then also, this is what I was gonna say, make a mileage account with either that airline or a partner airline. So for example, like I said, KLM and Delta, they're actually the same airline. They're owned by the same head honcho. So all your KLM points go towards Delta. I've flown Delta, United, KLM, LATAM. So again, just look for their US, if you're a US resident, obviously, look for their US partner and then make an account with them, and then any partner airline miles will transfer. You request them after your trip, but that's just something because most of these flights are going to be pretty far and you want to get those miles. Okay, and then moving on. So from the time that you arrive to your destination's airport to the time that you leave your destination's airport, you will have a tour director with you, and they are amazing. Like I've been on 6 trips, so I've had 6 different tour directors from all different countries, 5 different continents, and they are all genuinely amazing. You want to go to a sporting event? We did that in Japan. She was like, oh, let me get tickets, because it was her hometown. You want to go to some weird like cave thing that's not on the EF itinerary, but you don't know the best way to get there, if you should get a taxi or whatever, they will help you. Like, they are your go-to person. You want to go out at night, but you're not sure, like, what do you recommend? Where's the safest area? They'll tell you. For me, my thing, I try to do karaoke on every EF trip, so I'm always like, where's the karaoke bar? And they tell me. So just silly little things like that, and they will be your go-to person. They will have any tickets for public transportation if you have another flight you're going on. I know for my Ecuador and the Galapagos trip, we had to obviously fly to the Galapagos. They were in charge of all that, getting us through security. We needed a visa or some travel document for the Galapagos. EF handled all of that, and then our tour director gave it to us in the airport. And then for Kenya, we're obviously driving to and from national parks. You're just in the safari vehicles. They are super helpful. The tour directors are literally amazing. Those are the people who, if you have dietary restrictions, you will tell them just like, hey, I'm gluten-free, and they'll be like, okay, awesome, thank you. Every trip you will have breakfast included, which is usually a hotel buffet style, usually lots of options. Great. Again, you'll kind of get to see a little taste of the country in the breakfasts. Like in Greece, I remember there were like lots of like cold cuts and cheeses and breads, and obviously like fruits and vegetables, but so it's just funny because that's what they eat. And then in Kenya, every meal was just a massive buffet, because I went in July, which is their high season, but the food is phenomenal. There's like lots of Indian food because it was a British colony, so you just get to experience. And then they have these like special, I don't know, like food I couldn't even pronounce. I didn't even know what it was, but I was like, this looks delicious, I'm grabbing it. They had like a pasta bar one night. In Belize, we got to have like their like traditional meal and like lots of like seafood, so it's great. You really get to like kind of taste through the country. But yes, you'll have breakfast included every single day, and then you will have a welcome dinner and a farewell dinner. And these are honestly like one of my favorite parts with EF, because the welcome dinner will be like your first night, and it's kind of everybody just getting to know each other. I'm trying to remember people's names because I am so bad at that. And you're kind of just all hanging out. It kind of always gives me the first, like going to summer camp the first night vibes. It's just everyone's so happy to be here. You're maybe a little jet lagged. Maybe some people want to go out after. Maybe some people are like just woke up from a nap if their flight got in early. So it's kind of a funny vibe, but I love it. And that's 3-course meal, this and the farewell dinner. But the farewell dinner is a little sad because all these people who you've been hanging out with for a week or a month or however long the trip is you're going on, you're like, we're probably never gonna all be together again. And it's kind of like sad. And it's getting people's numbers, cheersing to a future trip, because I have known people and I myself have booked trips with travelers I have met on other trips. So it's great. It's sad, and that will be your last night. Sometimes you fly home your last night, so if that's the case, like for my Kenya trip, all of our flights were at night, so we all had to be at the airport at like 7 p.m. so we had our farewell dinner the night before. But still, it's kind of like the last night you're all together. Again, 3-course meal, very delicious. Sometimes they're more than 3 courses. Like in Kenya, we were at like one of those like restaurant steakhouses where they just like bring as much food as you want, you know, the vibe. So we went to one of those. So I mean, as many courses as you could fit in your stomach, really, but those are great. Sometimes they have like little fun cocktails or drinks. If you don't drink, they also have drinks for you, so no worries. But welcome and farewell dinner are amazing. And then for all the other meals, I recommend looking at the specific itinerary you are looking at. Some meals have everything included, like Kenya, basically every single meal was included. And then some other trips just have like breakfast, welcome, and farewell dinner. So just look at it. And then sometimes depending on like the days, like you'll take a lunch to go because you're gonna be hiking or in the car like during lunchtime. I don't know why that made me laugh. But so yeah, just look at the specific itinerary. And then on that note, every single thing on the itinerary is included. So if that is going to a museum, hiking up a mountain, the transportation to these said activities, all included. So you don't have to worry about like getting to a bus stop, because like I've traveled alone before and like trying to figure out your ticket or your confirmation number or the Metro card. Like you don't have to worry about all of that. They give, like I remember we showed up to Japan and our tour director was like, here are your Metro cards. I was like, amazing. And then she went on the Metro with us and like showed us everywhere to go. So truly phenomenal. Every single thing is included. If you're doing one of the trips where you go to multiple countries, your transportation to and from countries will be included. That being said, everything is included, but nothing is mandatory. But again, if you're doing one of those trips that's going from country to country and you're like crossing borders, please go with your group or else you might create an international, some international chaos. I mean, that's fine, but I would not recommend that. But so if your group is doing some hike and you're like, I'm not an active girl, I'm not an outdoor girl, I want to go to a museum, cool. If your group is doing a museum or some historical tour and you're like, you know, I've already been to the city, I've already done that, I don't want to do that, you can go off on your own. Just tell your tour director so they know they're not missing someone. I did this with some people I met. I went to Ecuador solo. Ecuador and the Galapagos before they had the other Galapagos trips. And my one friend had been on it before and he was like, hey, we did this actually like full day in the Amazon with a different tour group. And I told my TD, I was like, hi, I think I want to do this. He was like, oh, that's fine. Just let me know who all ends up wanting to do it. And so we kind of skipped. EF only had a half day of itinerary planned activities. It was hiking this one waterfall. And so we just skipped that and did this separate like day tour where we like went into the Amazon and hung out with like a tribe and went to like a chocolate pounding like little hole in the wall factory. It actually didn't even have walls. It was just like a little shed. Got painted by an indigenous tribe, like very cool things. Hiked to a waterfall in the Amazon. So I was like, oh, we're still getting a waterfall. But so yeah, everything is optional, but you've also, keep in mind, you've already paid for it. So again, that is just a note for you to keep in mind that you have paid for it, but you don't need to go. Regarding going solo, so I have gone both solo and with friends. I will say, honestly, I love both. And especially like in Greece, our rooms, we would have like 3 or 4 to a room and I was with 3 friends, so it like worked out. And then we made friends with other girls, so when we had to be 3, one of us slept with the other girls. I will say I honestly make more friends when I go solo. I make friends when I travel with my friends, obviously. But when you go solo, you're kind of like forced to make friends and be like, hey, do you want to go grab dinner tonight? Or do you want to go to this like museum or go walk down the beach? Like you're kind of forced to invite people. Again, you can do stuff solo, but even when I go solo, I don't want to be solo 100% of the time. And I've made so many friends, like, I don't know how to put into words. Like, even though I only see these people maybe once a year, like, I send them so many, like, Instagram messages or memes or whatever. And, like, this Australia-New Zealand trip I'm going on, I'm going with a girl I met on Ecuador and the Galapagos, a guy I met in Japan, and then a girl I met in Iceland. And then some other people. I don't even know all of them. But so, it's fun because you make friends with people who are actually going to travel and, like, down to book trips. And who can take the time off of work, because I know that's what a big factor is for like my like real life friends, my like high school, college friends are like, I want to go somewhere, but I just cannot take the time off of work. And for me, I'm like, I'm sorry, but if I want to go somewhere, I'm gonna go. Especially like the Galapagos, I wanted to go before it like isn't in as pristine condition as it is now. So that's why I went solo, made friends there. It was amazing. And actually I forget the exact number, but over 60% of EF Ultimate Break travelers book alone and travel solo. So you will definitely not be the only solo person. And the groups range from anywhere. I'm trying to think. My smallest group I think was 11 and that was for Iceland. And then my largest group I think was 27 or 28 in Greece. But some groups do go up to like 40 or so people. So again, you are bound to find somebody that is kind of your vibe. And if you're lucky, everyone's your vibe. And that's happened to me too. And it's been great. And we're like, okay, reunion trip. So do not be worried about going alone. Do not be like worried about not making friends. You literally will. You will make friends both in your group. You will make friends with locals. Like the amount of friends that I just have all over the world, it's amazing. Like, ugh, I can't explain it. Oh, and then like I said, so I'm an ambassador for them because clearly I love them. So yeah, down below will be a link to get $100 off your first trip. This can be combined with any sale. And then also during the Black Friday early access, you will need to put in my code with, I'll put that right here because the link is the early access link and not the link with my code attached. So UA Grace 100. If you have any issues, just Instagram message me. I'll help you out. Some things to keep in mind when you are booking a trip. Yes, certain dates might be on sale. Please look up the weather for that destination. It might be a reduced rate because it's the not as popular season, or it's more wet or more hot than ideal. So before you book a trip, I recommend please look at the weather and look at also like reviews. Like I remember I joined Facebook groups for like all my trips. I'm just like, oh, Iceland travelers or whatever, and people will give like some hot tips, like don't go in this month, go in this month, make sure you see this, make sure you do this. So like, not shop around, but do your research. Don't just book, be like, oh, it's on sale. Like, yes, if it's on sale, go, please. But keep in mind what dates you want to go and what destination you want. And then also, like for me, I knew Ecuador and the Galapagos, that was on the equator. So even if I was going in the wet season, which I did end up going, it wasn't gonna be as cold as like Chicago, where I'm from. And then same with Kenya, but their wet season affects them more because it's literally the safari, the savannah. So, but I didn't go in the wet season for that. But so just keep that in mind when you're booking a trip. There are the payment plans. Those are no credit check required, no interest, straight up, just the total price divided. So if your total price is $1,000 and you decide to do a bi-weekly payment plan or bi-monthly, whatever, twice a month, you will pay $100 every 2 weeks for 5 months. Trip insurance. So EF does offer trip insurance. I have purchased it for every trip. I probably should have just used my credit card. I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve travel card. I'm pretty sure it has trip insurance on it, but if you don't have a different type of trip insurance, I recommend buying it with EF because just in case something happens, your luggage gets lost, your flight is delayed or changed, or you miss it somehow. Something gets stolen, God forbid. Not that that's happened to me, but you get injured, you have to go, you get stung by some bug and you have to like go to the hospital, or you cut your finger on some coral when you're snorkeling. Just get a trip insurance in case so you can get reimbursed. And then also, after you've traveled with them, you obviously can't use my code again. My code is only for first-time travelers, but you do get a repeat code. I even get the repeat code. I love it. And so it takes off, I forget the amount, but it goes up to $300. So I think it's like 100, 200, 300, maybe it's like 150, 200. I don't know. But after you travel with EF ones, you get a repeat code to use on future trips. And then the more trips you go on, the bigger it gets until it reaches $300. So then you get $300 off your trip. And then lastly, if you want to travel with me, if you really don't want to go alone, I'm coordinating the South Africa expedition for next December. It'll be December 5th to 15th of 2024. So far, I have a couple friends booked, and I just wanted to get more people to come because it's literally surfing, city, and safari. It could not be a better trio. I've been literally dying to go on a safari since I came back from Kenya, so I cannot wait. And again, if you're worried, I know a lot of people are worried about safety when they go places. We'll have our tour director with us the whole time. My manager from my job even told me she has some friends in Cape Town. My dad has some friends in Cape Town. So like, I am just so excited. So if you want to like do something out of your comfort zone a little bit, you can go on my group trip. You can look at the full itinerary online, but it looks like a dream. And that's also their summer because they're obviously in the southern hemisphere. So it's a perfect time to go for me. I'm going to be escaping Chicago winter. Yeah, like Oh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I wish I was doing it this December, but I'm going to Australia, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, if you want to travel with me on that, you can book with the link below. I don't know if it will be on sale for Black Friday. I will check and I will put it in the description if it is. But if not, you still get $200 off when you book with me. The code is groups 200, I believe. I'll check that. If it's not, I'll put something else in these quotes. And then you'll just put my email and you'll be like included in my group, because I know sometimes they have multiple groups going on the same trip. So if you want to be with me and check out South Africa together, yeah, just fill that out. Or if you're scared or you have more questions, message me on Instagram, leave a comment, and I will be happy to answer anything, and hopefully I'll see you in South Africa. That is it. I think that's everything. But yeah, if you have any remaining questions, comments, concerns, some trips you want to go on, but you have like a question about the weather or what to pack, leave a comment below. I had no friends. I know someone who's been on basically every single EF trip. So if I don't know the answer, I will find someone who knows the answer and I will let them know. And I will let them know, and then I will let you know the answer. And yeah, that's it. So just let me know if you guys need anything else, and maybe I'll see you on my next trip.